Imagine being a trained law enforcement officer, only to find yourself in a cat and mouse game with some of the most elusive criminals out there.
Keep your hands up! Keep your hands up!
In this video, we'll dive into 5 real-world cases where outlaws kept hundreds of police officers on their toes. These stories will leave you amazed and maybe even a little bit concerned about the challenges our police face today. But first, please hit the like button, as YouTube isn't always a fan of these kinds of videos. Our story begins in Hillsborough County, where Brandon Baker, a 33-year-old from Riverview, initiated his crime spree with a carjacking. This bold move set off a chain of events that would involve multiple law enforcement agencies and put countless lives at risk. After stealing a truck, Baker headed north on Interstate 75. The truck was quickly reported stolen, and officers were alerted as it approached the Marion County line. The Florida Highway Patrol tried to intercept him, but Baker was determined to escape.
It's a short box truck. Corey, where you at now?
Despite attempts to stop him, Baker continued his northbound journey, crossing into Alachua County. Here, the local police tried multiple times to bring the chase to an end. It was around 7:30 a.m. when Baker made a desperate move, leaving the interstate and heading into Gainesville. In a dramatic turn of events, Baker abandoned the moving truck on SW 34th Street and tried to make a run for it. What he didn't anticipate was a police cruiser catching up to him. Dashcam footage shows the final moments of the chase, where Baker is hit by an unmarked police car before being tackled and handcuffed by officers. Brandon Baker now faces a long list of charges, including grand theft auto, 5 counts of aggravated assault on a police officer, and 3 counts of leaving the scene of a crash involving property damage. And that's just the beginning. More charges are expected from the Tampa Police Department.
I ain't blaming the police. They just protecting the police.
Ain't even mad at y'all, but y'all did y'all job.
But Baker isn't the only one who managed to keep the police on high alert. Our next story takes us to Pennsylvania, where a convicted murderer pulled off a daring escape and led the authorities on a 2-week manhunt that captivated the nation.
To the people of Chester County, we appreciate your support.
Danilo Cavalcante, a convicted killer, escaped from Chester County Prison on August 31st by scaling a wall and running across the roof. His escape triggered an extensive search operation that involved multiple law enforcement agencies. Cavalcante, already serving a life sentence for the brutal murder of his ex-girlfriend, managed to evade capture for 2 weeks. During this time, he broke into homes, stole a vehicle, and armed himself, causing widespread fear and school closures across the affluent Chester County. The manhunt reached its climax when Cavalcante was finally captured at gunpoint on September 13th in a rural area of Chester County. When apprehended, he had items stolen from a home, including a backpack, a shirt, a knife, and a sleeping bag. Now facing a dozen additional charges, including theft, burglary, and unauthorized use of a vehicle, Cavalcante's daring escape and the subsequent manhunt will be remembered as one of the most intense in recent Pennsylvania history. And just when you think you've heard it all, we move to Arizona, where a violent fugitive led the police on a deadly chase through the heart of Phoenix. This is the case of Kenneth Hearn. Kenneth Hearn, a 37-year-old man with a violent history, was wanted for the sexual assault of a 70-year-old woman. The police had been searching for him for some time when they tracked him down to an apartment complex in downtown Phoenix. On a Friday evening, with the area bustling due to the popular First Friday event, officers attempted to arrest Hearn. What followed was a chaotic shootout.
It's got some police on the search warrant! Open the front door! Let's go!
Hearn fired through the walls of his apartment, injuring Sergeant Scott Galbraith. Despite being hit in the abdomen, Galbraith is expected to make a full recovery. Hearn managed to escape by jumping off a second-story balcony, sparking an intense manhunt. The next day, police tracked him to Tempe. In a final confrontation, Hearn displayed a firearm, leading officers to shoot and ultimately kill him. Forensic evidence later confirmed that the gun used by Hearn in Tempe was the same one used to injure Sergeant Galbraith. But the story doesn't end here. Next, we move to Brazil, where a manhunt for a dangerous criminal spanned 20 days and mobilized nearly 300 officers. This is the case of Lázaro Barbosa. Lázaro Barbosa, a 32-year-old man with a history of over 30 crimes, initiated a horrific crime spree by invading a home in Ceilândia and murdering a family of 4. His escape led to a 20-day manhunt that gripped the nation. Barbosa's rampage began on June 9th, when he invaded the home of Claudio Vidal, killing him and his 2 children. He then kidnapped Claudio's wife, Cleonice Marquez, whose body was found 3 days later. This brutal act was just the beginning of a series of crimes that left the region in terror. Barbosa managed to evade capture multiple times, using his knowledge of the rural terrain to his advantage. He committed numerous robberies, took hostages, and engaged in several shootouts with the police. The manhunt saw nearly 300 officers deployed, and the entire region of Cocalzinho was put on high alert.
Foi dos momentos mais tensos da operação.
The pursuit reached a critical point on June 24th, when Barbosa was finally cornered by the police. In a final shootout, Barbosa was killed, bringing an end to his reign of terror. His death was met with relief by the local communities who had lived in fear during the manhunt. The case of Lázaro Barbosa is a chilling reminder of the lengths to which law enforcement must go to apprehend the most dangerous criminals. His 20-day flight from justice and the massive police response it required will be remembered as one of the most intense manhunts in Brazilian history. We just delved into the intense manhunt for Lázaro Barbosa, whose 20-day flight from justice mobilized nearly 300 officers and left a region in terror. But now, we shift our focus to another high-profile case involving a notorious figure from the world of organized crime. This is the story of Ovidio Guzman, son of the infamous drug lord El Chapo. Ovidio Guzman, the son of notorious drug trafficker Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, was extradited from Mexico to the United States on September 15th. This extradition marked a significant milestone in the ongoing efforts to dismantle the powerful Sinaloa cartel. The U.S. Department of Justice, in cooperation with Mexican law enforcement, successfully brought Guzman Lopez to American soil. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland stated, "This action is the latest step in the Justice Department's effort to attack all aspects of the cartel's operations." Ovidio Guzman was apprehended during a special operation in Sinaloa in January. He faces charges in the U.S. for conspiracy to import and distribute drugs, alongside his brother Joaquin Guzman Lopez. In Mexico, he is also charged with possession of military-grade weapons and attempted murder. The operation to capture Ovidio began in the early hours of January 5th. Mexican Defense Secretary Luis Crescencio Sandoval detailed how the Army and National Guard, in coordination with other agencies, surrounded a convoy of armed individuals. After a fierce gunfight, Guzman Lopez was identified and taken into custody. Following his arrest, a series of violent reactions erupted in Culiacan. Cartel members set up 19 blockades and launched attacks, including assaults on the airport and a military base. The chaos underscored the Sinaloa cartel's extensive influence and the dangers faced by law enforcement in combating organized crime. The capture and extradition of Ovidio Guzman represent a significant blow to the Sinaloa cartel, yet it also highlights the ongoing struggle and the high stakes in the battle against powerful criminal organizations. His extradition to the United States is seen as a crucial step in curbing the cartel's operations and bringing justice to those affected by their illicit activities. Ovidio Guzman now faces trial in the U.S., where he will answer for his role in the cartel's drug trafficking operations. The international cooperation in his capture and extradition serves as a testament to the relentless pursuit of justice against even the most formidable criminal enterprises. From the intense manhunt for Lázaro Barbosa that mobilized hundreds of officers in Brazil, to the dramatic capture and extradition of Ovidio Guzman, son of El Chapo. These stories showcase the relentless pursuit of justice by law enforcement against some of the most elusive and dangerous criminals. Each case is a testament to the bravery and determination of the officers involved. If you found these stories as gripping as we did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more real-life crime stories and thrilling tales of justice. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and stay safe.